we are going to get started in a seat. So if you are seated upright and you feel comfortable, take that. If you want a block to sit on, you can always add that in. Sukhasana, easy pose, half lotus, whatever calls out to you. And just take a moment here to let your palms rest on your thighs and start to find an upright spine. We're going to begin connecting to the earth, the root chakra. So start to feel your sit bones firmly planted against whatever surface you're resting upon. Likewise, feel the touch of your hands on your thighs. And then see if you can shift focus to feel what your thighs feel like in your hands. As we start to root down and find a sense of grounding, we're connecting not only to the grounding energy of the earth, but the actual root chakra, which resides at the base of the spine. Likewise, with the hands on the thighs, we're connecting to another energetic point that is often connected to that root chakra. The thighs and the feet are our strength and grounding on two different parts of the legs. So as we begin to feel a little more grounded, I want you to really drop your focus down into your sit bones. And picture yourself growing roots further and further into the mat, into the floor, through the foundation, and finally deep into the earth. And as you feel that rooting underneath you, supporting you, know that you're starting this journey through the chakras. So while we will be doing a journey from the root to the crown, there are often energy centers that like to commingle with one another. So sometimes I'll be speaking to just one chakra as we move through a certain section of the flow. Other times I'll be speaking to how two chakras can work together. Likewise, there is an energy known as the Kundalini, which is represented by a coiled snake at the base of your spine. And this metaphorical snake is what we kind of imagine when the chakras start to align. The energy starts to rise. You get a jolt of inspiration, of energy, of a feeling of alignment. You can picture it like a snake, or if you're not a fan of snakes, you can imagine it like one of those little hammer strongman competitions at a fair. Sometimes we hit that hammer and it just goes up to the root. We just feel a little grounded. Everything else might feel a little wonky, but at least we've got that grounding. Sometimes if we've got the grounding, we can start to feel it rise. With that in mind, we'll just start a little exercise with some torso movement to kind of encourage that snake rising, or if you want to picture it as that strong man, just start to send your rib cage over to the left and then slightly forward and then over to the right and circle back. I'm just going to start to stir that energy, still maintaining that feeling of connection underneath your sit bones. You can keep your hands on your thighs, or if it feels more secure to grab onto the front of your knees as you start to take this movement, you can always shift your energy there. And as you start to feel that stirring, I want you to imagine that you are awakening that snake. We're starting to activate that strong man pressure on the button to be able to let that energy start to rise. The snake really works better for this part. And as you start to feel that stir, imagine that you're letting something just start to coil up your spine from your root to your low belly. Continue to stir and imagine that energy is stirring up to your upper abdomen. Imagine that energy rising even further up to your heart. Let it coil up into your throat, maybe even start to get your neck into play as you let yourself circle through. Let it start to rise up to the space between your brows. And finally, let it come out of your crown through the top of your head. Like you just hit that hammer really hard on that strongman competition and you hit all the way up to the belly. And then just go ahead and let yourself come back to a neutral spine. And let yourself settle into that stirring energy that you've just awakened. And it might just be a little bit of an awakening, but we've got the start of the process there. And with that in mind, we're going to gently blink the eyes open. We're going to stay in a seat. We're going to start to do some seated cat cows. So as you inhale, loop your shoulders up and down your back. Send your heart forward. As you find that proud heart, really feel yourself root down through your sit bones again. Exhale, round through your spine for the seated cow. As you tuck your chin back, you can grab onto the front of your legs and really lean into the back of your heart here. Then take a couple rounds like that. So as you inhale, send it forward. As you exhale, lift it back. And again, sometimes we get distracted with what the spine is doing. We forget that we are grounded. So feel the sit bones every sense of the movement. And then gently bring yourself back to a neutral spine and take a moment to unleash your legs, plant your palms in front of you, tuck your toes and your hips high, downward facing dog. As you find your down dog, you can take what you need to start to settle in here. So if you want to pedal through the legs, sway through your hips, begin to feel the grounding in different areas of your body now. So underneath the pads of your fingers, the ball mounts of your feet. And as you start to feel that rooting down, imagine that it's allowing you to strengthen and grow a little taller to the tip of your tailbone. Maybe imagine little strings pulling your heels down towards the earth as well. And imagine some more strings pulling the crown of your head towards the space between your palms. So even though that crown is not going to touch, you feel as if you're connected to the earth there. And then inhale, look at the top of your mat. Exhale, step your feet behind your wrists, ragdoll. Find a soft bend to your knees and let everything hang absolutely heavy. Start to feel the foundation underneath your feet. And in fact, notice if when you step forward into that ragdoll, your feet start to do some funky angles. Think heels directly behind the ball mounts and root down into your heels and ball mounts of your feet. Yogi's choice with the arms here. If you want to take a little chest expansion, just let the fingers draw along the floor as you sway side to side. Whatever makes you feel like you're warming things up for your practice. Let go of any tension in your spine. And again, imagine those strings tugging the top of your head down towards the floor so that feels connected there as well. Now, as we start to feel a little more grounded, we shift the energy ever so slightly a little higher. We're still focusing on the root chakra, but we might start to feel that kundalini snake rise just a little bit. So we're going to walk the feet out to the outer edges of the mat, toes out, heels in, and get down into malasana. If you want to block here, totally fine. That can help you feel more rooted if you want to sit down. But find a place where you can find your elbows to your inner thighs, and then close your eyes so we can focus on the rooting. So feel yourself still connected to that root chakra. The feet like to do a little bit of distraction stuff here. So if you feel like you're dumping towards the arches of your feet, your toes are gripping the mat, we're going to find a little more intention. So ground down to the inner ball mount behind your big toe, and then try to press to the outer edges of your feet and squeeze your heels down and inward. Feel that really secure rooting, enough that you can relax your toes because you're no longer feeling like you need to claw the mat to be here. And then now that we're grounded, it might be a little easier to find some opening in the hips, which will connect to the second sacral chakra. So engage your outer thighs, pull your knees back. Little side note, like I said, the thighs are connected to the root chakra, so those two things are going together here. In order to feel like we can open up the sacral chakra, we need to feel rooted and grounded. I'll get a little more into the sacral chakra later, but while we're here, if there's any variations that you want to stretch things out, I like to offer up some open arms. So if that calls to you, you can spread your collarbone wide. If you want a half bind or a full bind for that first side, you can take that. And anything you take to one direction, be sure to take it the opposite way. Just remember, your feet are still grounded in the way that we set the intention. So if you start to feel them rocking around, take some time to re-ground yourself. Once you've balanced out your sides, come back to hands at heart center. Drop your hands down towards the mat and start to straighten out your legs as your toes start to flip forward. And then toe heel your feet together. Big toes to touch, a little bit of space between your heels. As you find that position, soften your knees, one vertebrae at a time. Start to round your spine all the way up to stand. No rush to rise, but once you're here, loop your shoulders up and down your back. Bring your hands together at heart center here and close your eyes. setting an intention. My intention for you is simply to find the best alignment that you can today. But if you have something else you're calling into your practice along the way, you can use your inhales to call something in, your exhales to let something go. So again, maintaining that connection underneath the inner ball mat and your outer heel. Feel that squeeze down into the earth. But again, know that when you're grounded, your toes don't feel like they need to claw the mat. You find a sense of surrender there. Let that strengthen like you're just a tree that grew roots down into the earth, and you now can nourish your trunk. So engage your quads to lift your knees. Engage your low belly to lift up on your hips. Squeeze your low ribs together so your heart shifts over your hips, and grow tall through your crown, because that's what a healthy tree does. Now, with that in mind, gently blink your eyes open. And now that we found this grounding, we are going to take a little bit of a tree pose, but we're going to modify. So I want you to start with your right foot grounded and take your left heel to the calf so that your foot is on your ankle. Let that knee open up. And we're starting to challenge the balance and strengthening of that standing leg. I know this isn't the most advanced version of tree pose, but sometimes being here allows us to notice the shifts in our energy that have to happen for us to feel balanced. If you want to challenge yourself a little more while we're here, close your eyes. Start to feel yourself root down into the inner ball mat and outer heel of that standing foot. And then start to imagine that that left knee is pulling out to the side of the room. Engage your belly, find that strength in your trunk so you're still rooted firmly into the mat. Deep breath in, grow a little taller. Deep breath out. And like your eyes open, we are going to do a sun A with this tree pose. So drop your hands down to your sides. Inhale, tree pose with your arms reaching up towards the sky, mountain version of your tree. Feel yourself root down into the floor. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold, keeping that tree leg. Start to bow forward over your leg until your fingertips can come towards the floor. As you find the fingers of the floor, you'll notice that standing on this one leg mainly is causing a different stretch. So take a moment to turn your tailbone to face back towards the back wall if it started to spin out to the side, and maybe even take either blocks or hands to the mat and sort of fold yourself a little deeper towards the leg so you're feeling a little different stretch in your standing leg here than you would if both legs were connected firmly to the floor. Relax your head and neck. Then still maintaining those tree legs as best you can, inhale, halfway lift. That could be hands to your shin, to your thighs, or you could keep your hands to the floor to some blocks. But we're trying to keep that nice flat back alignment here. Squeeze your shoulders down your back. Squeeze your low ribs together. Now, this one is totally optional. We are going to take this into a chaturanga. So option one is just plant your palms, step your feet back into your high plank, flow high to low. If you want to get a little fancy with this, you can try and take this tree pose and float it back into a mid plank. So if that's the case, you can bend your standing knees, plant your palms here. Think of that ankle staying connected to your inner, or your foot staying connected to your inner ankle, and think hips up, foot back, bend the elbows as you land. If you took it, you can keep the tree legs as you inhale, up dog. And when you're ready, exhale, downward facing dog. Plant the feet back firmly to the earth. Beautiful. We're going to take that on the other side. So inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward, feet planted firmly towards one another. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. This time, left foot's the foundation. So before we even rise, start to prepare your legs. Bring that right foot to your ankle. Then inhale, mountain pose arms as you rise up into your tree. We're going to take a second here just to find that grounding on this side. So notice it might get a little wobbly. Start to root down to your inner ball mat, your outer heel. As you do so, let that strengthen your leg. Let it strengthen your core. You are a strong, stable oak tree, and you can now grow a little taller. Deep breath in. Exhale, forward fold, keeping that tree pose in your legs. Start to hinge down. Reach for the floor, reach for blocks, whatever calls out to you. As you start to find this fold, again, take a few moments here just to appreciate that different stretch that you feel with that leg lifted. As you find the stretch in your legs, take a deep breath in. Maybe contact the floor or the blocks a little more and fold a little deeper. Soften your face and jaw. Then inhale, halfway lift again, still maintaining that tree pose shape. It's hands to the mat, hands to the shin, hands to the thighs, whatever feels best. Find your flat tabletop, deep breath in. Your choice if you plant the palms and step it back or choose that float back into mid-plank with your tree legs, but take it to your high plank to low plank, however you want to get there. Inhale, up dog. If you're keeping your tree, feel free to keep it. Exhale, downward facing dog. So as we move into our flow with this, I'm going to offer you the option to vary your tree. Now that we've set it up with that ankle connection, if you feel like you're ready to advance it to foot to your inner calf or inner thigh, just above or below the knee joint, you absolutely can try that on. I just wanted to do the ankle first so that we feel the grounding sensation first round. So as we start to flow, inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward, feet together. Inhale, halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot to your foundation, prepare your tree. Inhale, tree pose, reach for the sky. Woo! Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips, bow down towards the floor. Inhale, halfway lift, try to keep your tree. Exhale, chaturanga, lose the tree or take it into a mid-plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward, big toes to touch. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot to your foundation, prepare your tree leg. Inhale, rise up into your tree, reach for the sky. Woo, you got this. Exhale, forward fold, hinge from your hips, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Try to keep the tree. Maybe you take the toes to the floor. Exhale, chaturanga, however you want to get there. Step it back or float it back and bend the elbows. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. One more time through. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Right foot to your foundation. Inhale into your tree. Rise up. Exhale, forward fold. Beautiful. Find that grounding. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Step it out of your tree or float it back to mid-plank. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Last side, inhale, look forward. Exhale, travel forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Left foot to your foundation. Inhale into your tree, reach up. Exhale, forward fold, bow down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, chaturanga. Find your way back to down dog. If you want to skip it, you can always skip it. Inhale, up dog if you're taking it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Beautiful. As you move back into your down dog, take a little movement here. Rock it out, shake it out, soften up your jaw. Because we're getting ready to move from that root energy into the sacral chakra. So if you want to take a moment just to pedal through your legs and let your hips find a little bit of play here, you can even make it a little dancey. Let your booty just dance back behind you. As you find some movement here, though, we're moving into the sacral chakra, which is about passion, sensuality, creativity. So the element that we're talking about here is water. So we want to feel really fluid. So as we move through the chakras, we always move from one extreme to the other, moving up through the body. So the grounding energy of the root chakra felt very stable. This one, we want it to feel fluid. So we're going to do a little variation on a lunar flow. It's like a lunar solar blend just to come into that sort of tides moving energy. So inhale, kick your right leg high. Bend your knee, open up your hip. Find a little movement just to open that hip up, whatever that means for you. Soften your jaw, soften your face. Option to keep it just as an open hip. Or if you feel ready for a little flip dog wild thing, option to drop that right foot over back behind you to the floor. Lift your hips, reach for the front of the room. Whether you're opening up your hip or in your flip dog wild thing, bring it back to a down dog kick. Deep breath in. Exhale, low lunge. Sweep your foot between your hands. Inhale, easy twist. Send your right arm high, left palm stays planted. Take a moment here in your easy twist to try and square your hips towards the floor. Straighten your back leg and find some length through your crown. Choose to either keep that hand up and circle your wrist, or take a little half bind and reach that right hand behind you to grab onto your left hip and gently lift it up in space. If you're feeling like you need a little extra neck stretch while you're here, I find that binds are a helpful thing to help stretch the neck. You can drop the ear towards your bottom shoulder, get a little sensation. And then moving a little more into the hips, releasing the binds, and exhale, horizons lunge. So knife edges of your feet, left side of your left foot, right side of your right foot. And as you come to the side, it's gonna feel like that bottom leg is in side plank. So if you're a little confused by this move, think of taking yourself into side plank and then just step that right foot forward and let it rock to the knife edge so your knee falls open. All right, we got a couple things around them. So let's go ahead and think of side plank. So how do we have so many different legs around the room? Right leg is forward. As your right leg is forward, think of taking yourself into side plank and then let the knee fall open. Yeah, so that knife edge of the foot back there, and then this knee falls open. You should feel a little outer IT bend stretch. Let me see, I got anybody else? And we're gonna try and keep that back knee off the floor. So it's not about dropping down to the knee, it's about lifting up. Beautiful shifts, guys. Awesome. So now that we've got that horizons lunge, go ahead and take a moment here to either choose to keep your hips lifted for a little oblique strength or drop, drop your hips low for a deeper stretch. And then inhale back to your easy twist. And exhale, we're gonna take a skandasana to the back of your mat. So think of crawling your hands the inside of that right foot towards your back foot, bend your left knee, straighten out your right. I know, back of the mat, so back knee is bent, front leg is straight. So if you're towards the front of the mat, go to the back of the mat with the bent knee. And as you find that shift, think of letting that knee fall open. So I'm a mirror image up here, guys, in case it's confusing your brain. As you find this, you have the option to keep your hands grounded. Or first round, if you want to challenge yourself, you can bring one or both hands to heart center. Or you can take that little open arm variation we tried on Malasana. So this is almost like a half Malasana with a straight side leg. Wherever you are, take a moment to activate your outer left thigh, pull the knee open. So we're finding that grounding and the hip opening. Deep breath in. Then towards the back of your mat, towards your bent knee. So I'm a mirror up here. Crawl yourself towards your bent knee and to find a low lunge. Then take it into a chaturanga. Sweep that left foot back. Low, high to low. If you want to take Ekapada, feel free. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. So this is what happens when we engage the creative brain. Things get a little crazy. We flip things around. It's okay. And that's actually how we can engage with that creative energy is by getting out of our comfort zone. So we are going to take the second leg facing the back of the room. I know it's going to be crazy. Just listen to the cues. So inhale, kick your left leg high. So as your left leg goes up, bend your knee, open up your hip. So again, I'm a mirror image up here if anybody's checking it out. And then either keep that hip opener, or if you want that flip dog or wild thing, so to drop that left foot back behind you onto the floor beside your mat. Lift your hips, lift your heart. Be mindful of the shoulders as you make that transition. Take a moment here to take a deep breath in and stop taking things so seriously. And deep breath out. Then wherever you are, we're going to take it back to that down dog kick. So unflip your wild thing or just straighten the leg back out. Exhale, a low lunge to the direction of the mat that you're facing, but it's the back of your mat. As you step yourself back to face that direction, we're going to take that easy twist. So right palm is your foundation, left palm reaches high. Again, try to level off your hips, squeeze your shoulders down your back. Either choose to stay here and circle through that wrist, or if you want to take that half bind, reach around the small of your back, grab for your outer hip and lift it up. Wherever you are, think of that length from your back heel all the way through your crown. Maybe twist a little deeper. Deep breath in. Deep breath out. Then undo your bind if you've got it. We're going to take it that horizons lunge. So think of that bottom back leg being like in side plank. Come to the knife edge of that back leg, knee and leg are lifted, and then let that front leg rock open. Awesome, everybody's got it. As you've got this, again, you have the choice to either keep the hips lifted, or if you drop them lower, you'll get a deeper stretch. Once you're here, keep a nice open heart, soften through your jaw, deep breath in. Stay ready, breath out. Then inhale back to your easy twist. And we're going to take that skandasana again, this time towards the original front side of your mat. So start to crawl your hands through the center, over towards that right leg. Bend the right knee towards the front, straighten out your left. Beautiful. As we find this, you have the option to keep the hands grounded. You can bring one hand to your heart. You can bring both hands to your heart. You can take a little open arm.
wherever you are. Stay grounded into that rooted foot on that right leg and activate your outer right thigh to pull the knee open. So we're still getting that hip opening, combining the root and the sacral chakra. Deep breath in. And exhale, low lunge and chaturanga to the front. So just crawl towards that bent knee and take it into your chaturanga flow. Inhale, upward facing dog if you want it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pull up and back. As you find your way back into down dog, take a moment to take a deep breath in and deep breath out. Notice if you got a really serious expression on your face, let that go. Maybe take a moment to shake something out, shake the booty, shake the head, take whatever you need to loosen things up. Beautiful. Now, we are going to take that one more time for our flow, but it's going to be 2 times each side, and we're going to do a full circle. I know, it's crazy. We're messing with your brain. Just listen to the cues. So inhale, kick your right leg high. Exhale, either bend your knee, open your hip, or take it into your flip dog wild thing. Then inhale, bring it back to that down dog kick. Careful on the shoulder if you're moving through that. Exhale, low lunge, sweep your foot through. Left hand planted, inhale, easy twist, right arm high. You can stay here, or if you like the horizons lunge, exhale, horizons lunge. Inhale, back to your easy twist. Exhale, skandasana towards the back of your mat. Left knee bends, right leg straight. Beautiful. Inhale, low lunge towards that bent left knee. Exhale, chaturanga. Find your flow facing the back of the room. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. This is where it gets crazy. You're going to see the other side of the room because we're going to do that same leg. Inhale, kick your right leg high. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip, or take it into your flip dog wild thing. Inhale, back to your 3-legged down dog. Kick the heel high. Exhale, low lunge. Sweep your foot through. Left foundation. Inhale, right arm high. Twist. Exhale, horizon only if you want it. Yes. Inhale, back to your easy twist. Exhale, skandasana to the front. Left knee bends, right leg straight. Inhale, low lunge towards that bent knee. Exhale, chaturanga, had a low plank. Only if you want it, you can skip it if you don't. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing. You guys did so good. We're going to do the other side. Inhale, kick your left leg high. Right away, bend your knee, open your hip, or take it to your flip dog wild thing. Then inhale, back to your 3-legged down dog. Kick the heel high. Exhale, low lunge, sweep your foot through. Right hand foundation, inhale, left leg or left arm high twist. If you want it, exhale, horizons lunge. Inhale, back to your easy twist. Exhale, skandasana to the back of your mat. Right knee bends, left leg straight. Inhale, low lunge to the back of your mat towards that bent knee. Exhale, chaturanga if you want it, skip it if you don't. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Last side, same side. Inhale, kick your left leg high. Right away, bend your knee, open up your hip or take it into flip dog. Be mindful of the shoulder. Inhale, back to your down dog kick. Exhale, low lunge, sweep your foot through. Inhale, easy twist, the left arm high. Exhale, horizons lunge. Inhale, back to your easy twist. Exhale, skandasana to the front, right knee bends, left leg straight. Inhale, low lunge to the top of your mat. Exhale, chaturanga if you want it, skip it if you don't. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a little moment to take a victory dance once you're back there, shake something off, and then come on down, have a seat. How are we feeling so far, guys? You made it. Your brains have gotten new wrinkles. I am very impressed. We're going to move into some core work. So I'm going to just start you with a little boat prep. So toes out in front of you, hands behind your thighs. Once you're here, you're going to hang out here for a second, so don't worry about making it super intense. Just start to squeeze that into the low belly because we're getting ready to move from the sacral chakra into the solar plexus. So the sacral chakra is all about flow and creativity. Solar plexus is your power. It's about the solar power, the sun, the movement forward. The sun actually moves us through our day, through our year. So we're going to think of that metaphor, and we're going to grab a block, and this is going to be our sun. We're going to hold the power of the sun in our hands. And as you've got this power of the sun in your hands, lean back, keeping that core engaged, open heart. And then as much as you want to take it into boat, maybe you have your feet, maybe you parallel the shins. If you want to straighten them, you can. I hate that version, so take whatever feels best for you. As you find your way into the sun position, we're going to take our sun and we're just going to row a little boat. So exhale over to one side. Shh. Inhale through center, exhale the other side. Shh. Inhale through center, exhale other side. Shh. Inhale through center, exhale other side. Shh. As you row, shh. Begin to feel shh, that warmth in your upper belly. Shh. Relax your face. Shh. Relax your jaw. Shh. And think of bringing out shh, any uncertainty. Shh. 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 Then we're going to keep moving forward. Shh. Keep growing. Shh. By adding on. Shh. So inhale center, exhale lower down to a mid plank and draw your block over your head. So sun over your head, squeeze the belly in, heels and shoulders hover. Then inhale, bring it back up. Oh, exhale, take it back to that twist. Shh. Inhale back through center, exhale other side. Inhale back through center, then we're going to take that lower again. Lower it down. Oh, and then exhale, bring it back up. Then twist it to one side. Shh. Inhale through center, twist the other. Shh. 2 more rounds like that. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bring it up. And exhale over the side. Shh. Inhale, center. Exhale, other side. Shh. Inhale, center. Exhale, straighten. Inhale, bring it back up. Exhale, twist. Shh. One more time. Shh. Bring it to center. And this time, send the sun overhead. Send your heels long. Hold it here for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Morning stretch. Let it all go. Take a second. Just let that sun rest on the floor over your head. Soften your face, soften your jaw, find a little belly stretch. Whew. All right, so hopefully you're feeling a little more powerful, a little more confident. You've got that action, that movement forward going. We're going to continue that theme. So go ahead and grab that sun block from overhead, place it between your inner thighs. And as you find the thigh block between your thighs, stack your knees over your hips. You're going to send your arms out to a T here and scoot your shoulders underneath you. So now that we've got the sun out, we're going to have a little rainbow here. So once you've got that block between your inner thighs, I want you to think knees in line with your hips the whole time and let your knees start to fall over towards the right side of your mat, only low enough that the outer thigh starts to hover from the floor. So don't rest it all the way down, but keep your left shoulder grounded. So it's almost like you're in a supine twist. Then use that left oblique to bring your knees back through center, trying not to let them draw back towards your chest as you do. Keep them stacked in line with your hips. And then take it over to the other side, letting that other outer thigh hover. Squeeze your low belly and oblique to squeeze the block and bring the knees back through center. Now, if that was easy peasy and you want to make it harder, straighten your legs. If you want to make it even harder, goal post your arms. Wherever you choose to be, engage the low belly, press your low back down, knees in line with the hips, take the legs over to the right. Then bring them back through center using that oblique strength and take it over to the left. Then bring it back through center, squeeze the block, over to the right, and bring it back through center, over to the left. Remind your face that it's not an ab muscle. Bring it back through center, over to the right, and back through center. Last one, over to the left, back through center, and then drop the heels down to the mat, bridge pose to stretch. Lift your hips up, walk your shoulder blades underneath you. Again, we get a little bit of preview of jumping a little bit into the next chakra because we're doing the solar plexus, but we're also opening up the heart here as we stretch out the belly. So as you ground your shoulders in the back of your head, squeeze into your block, soften your face. And know that a lot of times, this is a great lesson of moving between the solar plexus and the heart chakra. The solar plexus is about the self, the ego, focusing on us. The heart is about connecting with the world. And as we move back and forth between those energy centers, we can often get a little out of balance one way or the other. Sometimes we focus a little too much on ourselves, forget about the outside world. Sometimes we focus too much on pleasing others and forget about ourselves. So combining in the physical practice, your core work with your heart openers is a good way of physically balancing out that energy. Deep breath in. And deep breath out. And then gently let your tailbone come back down to the mat. One last bit of solar plexus core engagement. Straighten your legs up towards the sky. As you straighten your legs, hook your thumbs underneath your sacrum, engage your low belly, try to press your low back to the mat. Now, try to keep your shoulders relaxed. So this is almost kind of like that same metaphor of keeping the heart open as we focus on ourselves. When we do this 30, 60, 90 move, we like to really crunch the shoulders inward and close off the heart. So think of keeping that heart open. So you're focusing on yourself, but you're still open to the outside world. Inhale, lengthen through your legs. Exhale, lower your heels just 30 degrees. Shh. Keep your heart open even though you're focusing on you. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower 30 degrees. Open heart. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower to a hover. Then inhale, slowly bring it back up to the top. Exhale, lower 30. Inhale, lengthen, heart open. Exhale, lower 30. Inhale, lengthen, spread across your collarbone. Exhale, lower to a hover. And inhale, bring it all the way back up. One more time. Exhale, lower 30. Heart open. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower 30. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, lower to a hover. Then inhale, bring it all the way back up. Take your block, place it to the side. Hug your knees toward your chest. Rock something out. Whew. Anywhere in your body that started to tense up with your core work, that's a place that you like to hold on to control. So our control, our strength comes from our core. Everything else in our body is just a figment of our imagination that we think is helping, but is actually just causing extra stress. So take a second to scan through your body, the places that were tense that weren't your core. Just be mindful of those when your life gets stressful. You want to let go of control there. Then grab the backs of your thighs, start to rock and roll, and you can cross your ankles, plant your palms, step back into high plank, and then lower all the way down to your belly. We'll take it to Sphinx pose. So as you take it into Sphinx pose, elbows underneath your shoulders, palms out in front of you. Take a second to press down into your fingertips, claw them into the mat, and so think of dragging your heart forward here. Whew. If the low back feels a little crunchy, activate your quads, press the tops of your feet down, lift your knees. Whew. And as we start to stretch the belly a little more, drop your heart down towards the mat. Interlace your fingers behind your back. Exhale out your still air. Inhale, bound locust. Pull your chest up off the earth as you reach your knuckles towards the back wall. Starting to get a little into that heart now. We've activated the core. We found our sense of self. We're ready to open up the world a little bit. So inhale, lift everything a little higher. Exhale, release down. Give yourself a little hand pillow. Stack the hands in front of you. Rest your forehead to the palms. Take a second here as we open the heart to check back in with the core. It's not active against the mat, but let the belly relax and let it massage against the earth. We're using that grounding energy of the earth to sort of connect our solar plexus to something solid, even as we start to feel a little more open and vulnerable to the heart. And then inhale, lift your forehead off your hands. Option to take a second bound locust, but if you're ready for a floor bow, kick your heels up towards your glutes, reach back and grab for the outer edges of your feet. If you're taking the floor bow, bring your knees to at least hip width distance apart and take a second to fully relax the chest. Feel the chest go heavy against the floor. We really want the chest to feel like it's ready to be open. It doesn't have to do any of the work here to open up. Exhale out your still air. Inhale, kick into your palms and let that be what lifts your chest. If the chest tried to help you, tell it it's safe. It can just open up. Kick a little harder into your palms. Deep breath in. And then exhale, release down. Give yourself that little pillow with your palms once more. If you want a little windshield wiper through your heels or wiggle through your backside, feel free to take that. And again, let gravity, the earth, ground your solar plexus as you relax the belly and let it move into the floor. Now, as we open up the heart a little bit more, one of the biggest challenges of having an open heart in any time period, but especially in our modern world, is being able to open yourself up to different perspectives that aren't necessarily your own. So we're going to take a little side-by-side shift of perspective with open heart with a semi-prone shoulder stretch. So send your right arm straight out to the right side of the room, like a little airplane wing. Left palm underneath your left shoulder, guide yourself over onto your right hip. Scoot that right hip towards the center of your mat. So if you were on the ceiling looking down, your head, your hips, and your ankles would be in one long line. You can choose to stay here if this feels like enough. If you want more, you can pick that left foot up and place it on the earth behind your right knee. Kind of a variation of our tree pose. If you want a half bind, you can reach your left hand up and around the small of your back. Or if you're really feeling like going for the chest expansion, that's always welcome as well. But wherever you are, we're going to think of opening up the heart and imagine that this is opening up to a perspective that's maybe a little to the side of what we normally would think. Our own perspective is down center and we're just kind of seeing what's on the opposite side of the spectrum. And as you open up your heart, know that you can still maintain a connection to your own viewpoint, your own perspective. And that's represented in the fact that we're going to let that left hip drift back and slightly down. So we stay grounded in our own point of view, but we allow ourselves to be open-hearted to those around us, to see the humanity in everyone, not just those that share our perspective. Allow that heart to feel open, to feel the security of your hips staying rooted where you are. And then we're going to take another perspective, so gently plant your left palm underneath your left shoulder, guide yourself back to your belly. Switch it to the other side, send your left arm out straight long like an airplane wing, right palm underneath your right shoulder. Guide yourself over onto your left hip. Rest your temple down, and again, choose your legs or arms according to what you did on the other side. Allow yourself to imagine that you're opening up to another end of the spectrum, another perspective at the opposite direction. But you're letting that right hip drift back and down so you still feel rooted where you are. And it's been 2 years, I miss my home. There's a fire burning in my bones. I still believe, yeah, I still believe. All those things I didn't say, wrecking balls inside my brain. And then gently plant your right palm underneath your right shoulder. Guide yourself back over onto your belly. Now, as you come belly down to the mat, plant your palms underneath you. Press yourself up to standing on your knees. Now, in that same perspective of opening ourselves up to different perspective, to different experiences, we are going to do 4 sets of camel pose. Now, that is a lot of camel pose, so I want you to also listen to your body. As I talked about the balance between the solar plexus and the heart chakra, sometimes when we feel too open up to the rest of the world, we lose our sense of self. So if you start to feel a little rush of energy, a little dizziness, a little queasiness, I want you to skip the other camel pose and just come to a seat so you feel grounded, and bring your hands on your upper belly so that you're connecting to your sense of self. But for as many as you want to join me for, we're going to do 4 sets of camel to all 4 walls of the room. So starting with your heels of your hands to the small of your back, classic camel pose. Engage your low belly, tuck your tailbone. Inhale, lift up through your heart, and using your shoulder blades as protection behind you, think of rounding up and over an invisible balloon and let your heart open up this direction. Think of shining some loving energy out into the world. It's almost like a Care Bear stare in that direction coming from your heart. And then inhale, slowly rise up. We're going to take a second to ground, so sit back onto your heels, hands to your thighs, so we're connected to that root energy. Or if you're starting to feel that really sense of queasiness, again, that's a sign the solar plexus just needs a little extra grounding. So you can place your hands to your belly. Take a second to absorb what just happened. Ideally, in a world that you are really open-hearted and really connected with your solar plexus at the same time, you can shine that loving energy out into the world and you feel it coming back to you. So allow yourself to absorb that. If you want to stay here and just ground yourself and meditate, feel free. If you want a little more, come on up. Now, I want you to check in with yourself as we move to face this wall over here, because the next 2 I'm going to offer are kind of a 2-parter. So if you feel like you've only got 1 more left in you, just take a classic camel. If you feel like you got 2 more, I'm going to offer a reach of the arms once we're in it. So take the heels of the hands to the small of your back, engage your low belly, tuck your tailbone, start to lift up through your heart and lean back into your camel first. Then, if you would like a little bit more, I want you to keep the right hand connected to your low back and reach your left arm back towards the wall behind you. Opening up a little more, shining some light out into the world. And then inhale, slowly rise up. Sit onto your heels, hands to your thighs or your belly, whichever one feels the most grounding in this moment. Close your eyes. Again, you just shine some love out in the world. If you're feeling secure within yourself, you'll feel it come back. Soften your face and jaw. If that was enough and you want to stay here, hopefully you just took the 2-handed version in the last round. But if you're ready to even out that reach that we just did, go ahead and come on up. Face towards the back wall. So turn yourself to the next quadrant. As you find that expression, heels of your hands in the small of your back. Inhale, lift up through your heart. Engage your low belly. Exhale, round your spine up and over that invisible balloon. Now the left hand stays grounded on your sacrum, and then you can reach that right arm back. Shine some loving energy out into the world. Deep breath in. Stay for a deep breath out. And then inhale, rise up. Sit onto your heels, hands to your thighs or your upper abdomen, whichever one feels like it needs more grounding. Close your eyes. Again, take a moment to receive the love coming back to you. We should never feel like we're depleting ourselves, sending love out to the world. We should always recognize how it's being returned to us tenfold. If you've had enough of the heart openers, feel free to stay here. If you want one more, go ahead and come up, turn to the final wall. Now, as you turn to the final wall, we have the option to take the classic, or I'm going to offer up a reach to the heels. So if you know that you like that, but you're like me and you want the heels a little higher, go ahead and tuck the toes to prepare. And then when you're ready, low belly engage. Inhale, lift up through your heart. Exhale, camel pose, round up and over that invisible balloon. If you want to stay here, stay. If you are taking the heel reach, do not twist your spine. Think of keeping the heart facing straight up and reach one hand back, see if you can find an ankle. If that one succeeded, reach the other hand back, see if you can find an ankle. And if you do succeed in touching down on both ankles, instead of pressing into them, I want you to imagine that balloon is pulling your heart up, and you have to grab onto your heels and pull the heels up with you. Deep breath in. Stay for a deep breath out. Then inhale, come back up. Woo, go ahead and turn yourself towards the front of the room again. Give yourself a little grounding moment. Heel, hands to thighs, hands to heart and belly. Actually, let's all do hands to heart and belly. So we've still got that connection to the heart chakra, the solar plexus. Woo, give yourself a second to absorb. Let that radiating love energy circulate through your cells, around the room, around the world, and then imagine it bouncing back into your heart. And then gently blink your eyes open. Swing your legs out from underneath you. So this is when we're going to start to combine some chakras. So we're going to take it into hip opening double pigeon. So start with your left shin parallel in front of you. Take the right ankle on top. If you can't get that hook of your ankle so the knife edge of your foot hangs off the top of your thigh, take a figure four instead. Extend the bottom leg. If you want a little support underneath that top thigh, you can find a block there. We're going to start with a little seated position, so find the seat that feels the most comfortable here. And as we go back into the hips and we go start talking about the sacral chakra, it's because we're going to go into the throat chakra next. And the throat chakra is about expressing ourselves. And usually if our creativity, our playfulness isn't open, it feels a little hard to express ourselves. So as we open up the hips, we're also going to open up the neck. So crawl your right fingertips out to the side of you far enough that you can't quite reach the floor. You really got to reach. And take your left hand up and over the top edge of your right ear. Gently let that hand grow heavy as you drop your left ear over towards your left shoulder. Now, we're going to find a slight throat lock here. So tuck your chin back into your throat ever so slightly, almost like you're just trying to press the back of your head towards the back wall. Whew. And then as you relax a little into the stretch, let that left ear draw a little heavier. Keep plugging your shoulders down your back. Not only are we opening up the throat here, but we're also tilting our ear out to here. I feel like it's often neglected to talk about the fact that the throat chakra is also about listening. That's an important part of our communication as well. Then inhale, bring your head back through center. And crawl your left fingertips out to the left side. We'll take it the other direction. Right handed up over to the top edge of your ear. Tilt your right ear over towards your right shoulder. Again, tuck your chin slightly back like you're trying to press the back of your head towards the back wall. Keep plugging your shoulder blades down. Keep reaching your fingertips towards the earth. Soften your jaw. Tilt the ear, listening for something while you're also opening up the throat. And then inhale, bring your head back through center. We are going to even out the legs, but first we're going to take a little forward fold just to get a little more into the hips. So if you want some blocks out in front of you, you can take that. If you want to just take a little flat back fold to make it a little more active, you can just hinge the chest forward. I like the little restorative version. If you choose to just sit upright, just allow yourself to let that top hip relax a little bit, the top thigh fall a little heavier towards the block or towards your bottom heel. Take a few moments here to anchor down through your sit bones, returning to that connection to the earth. And soften through your jaw. Let go of the sense of control. That creative hip energy, sacral chakra, needs a state of surrender to really open up. Seems that all I really was doing was waiting for love. The sacral chakra also connects to our deepest, innermost emotions. It's kind of the therapy chakra. So sometimes you have to be able to connect to that area, connect to that energy center, to be able to know what you feel, to be able to express it. it's real love. Yes, it's real love. And then inhale, slowly rise back up. Switch out the top legs. We're going to take the right shin to the bottom, the left leg on top. Again, if you want to block underneath the top thigh, feel free to take that. And here, we're going to take a little variation on some neck stretches. I want you to take your hands to the tops of your shoulders and think of pressing them down for a nice little proud collarbone here. And then think of sending your chin slightly back, so you're trying to stack your ears over your shoulders. Keeping approximate that alignment, press your tongue up to the roof of your mouth from behind your teeth all the way to the back root of your tongue. And keep that connection as you start to tilt your chin up towards the sky. Feel that stretch along the front side of your throat and keep your shoulders plugged down. Then nice and slow, still thinking of stacking your ears over your shoulders, bring the chin back, down, tongue still at the top of your mouth. We'll do one more time like that. So gently keep the ears over your shoulders as much as you can. Start to trace that chin up, tongue cemented to the roof of your mouth. And then slowly trace the chin back down. Yes, it's real. And then gently release your shoulders. Find your preferred forward fold to open up this hip. And take a few moments to just notice the openness you're creating in your throat, your neck. I was led to my own device. Again, the throat chakra holds so many different aspects of our communication. We often think of it as just expressing our truth, but it's about expressing your emotions, your opinions, asserting yourself with your voice. It's about being able to listen to the truths of others, again, even when they don't resonate with your own. And it's also connected to the neck because it's about a shift in perspective, about being able to see things from multiple points of view. But if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? And if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like you've been here before? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? How am I gonna be an optimist about this? And then how slowly come back up. From here, we're going to take it into cow face pose. So your left knee's on top now. We'll just go with the left knee top first. So close the thighs together so the knees can stack. If this doesn't work for you, just stay with the double pigeon. We'll do another round of that type of hip opening. We're taking it into this little closer knit area so they can root back into the sit bones. And then we're going to take little eagle arms here. So send your left arm underneath your right because the left leg is currently on top. Bring your palms to touch if you can. If you can't, go ahead and take the bear hug. But the palms to touch is kind of important for this next part. So if you can do that, take that. And if you can't, bring the back of the hands to touch if your palms can't touch. But with the arms out in front of you, you're going to start to hug your elbows down towards your chest. And as you notice, your thumbs are kind of coming to that space right out in front of your third eye. So if you don't have this hand variation, I encourage you to take a little prayer hands out in front of your third eye and just take a moment to tap your thumbs onto that space between your brows a few times. And just keep doing that tap in a way that feels comfortable. And that third eye is just awakening our sense of intuition, our connection to that inner voice, that inner clarity that's within all of us. And then gently release that tapping, release the arms, shake that off. We're going to switch up the cow face legs, so a right leg on top, or take your double pigeon with right leg on top if that's the version you're taking here. This time we're going to do the eagle arms with right arm underneath, or you can choose to take the bear hug for the few moments to open up the shoulders and then take it into prayer hands. Then hug your elbows down towards your body and then start to take that little tap of your thumbs. Take a moment to notice if you're holding any tension across your brow. Most of the time, that tension across your brow is a tendency to overthink. And that is definitely something that hinders our ability to listen to our intuition. So think of this repetitive tapping as just releasing unnecessary thoughts. And then gently release that. Send your legs out long in front of you. Inhale, reach tall.
Exhale, seated forward fold. Couple options here. If you're craving the hamstring stretch, keep the legs straight. Try to keep a flat back. If you want a little low back release, though, we can add in just a little more of the third eye, bend the knees, and lift the forehead on towards the knees. Totally up to you, though. We just did a third eye activator. So if you want that stretch, take the stretch. And then inhale, slowly rise up. Start to lower yourself down to lying on the mat. And as you find your way back down to the mat, inhale, hug your knees towards your chest. Exhale, happy baby. Step the soles of your feet toward the ceiling, knees out wide. And I encourage you here to let your baby feel very happy, whatever that means. Take whatever movement, stillness, breath that you want. We're tapping in not only into a little bit of playfulness that connects the sacral chakra, but also to that freedom of worry, stress, and overthinking that we'd find as like a baby in a crib. So I want you to just imagine here that you're just a baby in a crib with not a care in the world, and take whatever movements mirror that, whatever brings in that energy for you. Allow yourself to let go of any unnecessary thoughts and just be fully present in the moment to open up that intuitive nature that's innate within all of us. And then inhale, hug your knees back through center. Yogi's choice for your supine twist. So listen to your intuition as to how you want to twist it out today. The knees are going to point towards the left first. So scoot your left hip underneath your right. Glue your right shoulder down. You can gaze up. You can gaze off to the right. And as we start to close out the practice, this is just an opportunity to wring out anything that feels out of balance, anything that's not serving you. There's a little bit of a connection to the solar plexus here as we start to come into a twist. So we're re-engaging that sense of self, that sense of confidence, so that we can let go of the things that don't serve us.
Sarvadha Bhaktya Chandike
And then inhale, draw your legs back through center. Whatever legs you intuitively selected, take them to the other side. As you ground yourself into your twists and start to activate that solar plexus, the confidence to let go of what's not serving you, imagine you're wringing out anything that you don't need.
Dehi paramam Shea Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Visho.
And inhale, draw your legs back through center. If there's any final postures that call to you to close your practice, you can listen to your intuition and take that. If not, just give yourself a little self-love hug. Knees to chest, forehead to knees, deep breath in. And then set yourself up in a way that feels supportive, whether it be the Shavasana or something else, because you will be in this meditation time for an extended amount, about 10 to 15 minutes. So if there's anything that you need to feel supported during that time, grab those props, settle in. As you settle into your Shavasana, as part of this chakra aligning practice, I will be coming around to offer hands-on Reiki throughout the room. I assume that since you signed up for this class, you're on board for that, but if for any reason someone doesn't want to be touched today, just give me a little wave now so I can know to respect your space.
Dehi Manovratanu Saranam Paranim Durga Samsara Sagarasya Kalopa Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Yasho Dehi Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Yasho 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 Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Yasho. I wanna know what love is. Want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. Know you can show me. I wanna know what love is. Want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. Know that you can show me. Yasho Dehi Yasho Rupam Dehi Yasho Dehi Yasho. I wanna know what love is. Want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. Lord, you can show me. I wanna know what love is. Want you to show me. I wanna feel what love is. Know that you can show me. I wanna know what love is. I want you to show me. I wanna know that you can show me. Rupande Jayame Yashodehi Vishodehi Rupande Jayame Yashodehi Vishodehi Rupande Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Visho Dehi Rupam Dehi Jayam Dehi Yasho Dehi Visho Dehi.
Take a moment here, without changing your expression, to bring the feeling of a smile to your face. As you feel that joyful radiance shining out through each and every pore, send it down your throat and into your heart. As your heart starts to glow, breathe that smile out into your lungs, out into your ribs. Smile through your shoulders and down your arms. Hold that feeling of a smile in the palms of your hands and feel it shoot out your fingertips. And bring that feeling of a smile to your belly, your digestive organs, your reproductive organs. Smile through your hips, your thighs, your knees, and your calves. Circle that smile around your ankles, over your heels, through the arches of your feet, and out each toe. You're more than welcome to linger here to meditate for longer. If you'd like to be guided out, bring some gentle movement back to your fingers and your toes. Rock your head gently side to side, letting the solidness of the earth bring you back into the moment. When you're ready, find a morning stretch, arms overhead, legs long. And roll to whatever side feels like it needs a little extra grounding into fetal pose. And as you transition into your rebirth, let it be with a clean slate. Anything you don't need, feel gravity pull it off of you. When you feel the unwanted energy leave you, and you feel lighter with your eyes closed, press yourself up to a comfortable seat. There's no rush to rise, but for those that do, with your eyes closed, bring your hands to heart center. Connect your thumbs to your smiling, now open heart, and raise that smile up to your third eye. The light, the love, and the present soul in me honors the light, the love, and the present soul in you. Bow to yourself for coming to this practice.